Donald Trump, a businessman who vowed to disrupt Washington, has set his sights on the federal government. His goal? A smaller, leaner bureaucracy. This echoes the ethos of Ronald Reagan's famous campaign promise to shrink the government. Trump's vision, however, goes further, targeting agencies like the Environmental Protection Agency and the Department of Education. He argues that these agencies are bloated, inefficient, and hinder economic growth. His opponents counter that these agencies are vital for protecting public health, the environment, and ensuring equal opportunities. Trump's latest move is a sweeping federal worker buyout program. This program, spearheaded by Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, offers generous incentives for early retirement. This includes full pay and benefits until September 2025. The program has sparked controversy, with critics denouncing it as a backdoor attempt to gut the federal workforce. Supporters, on the other hand, praise it as a necessary step towards a more efficient government. The program's legality is also in question, with several legal challenges already underway. The outcome of these challenges remains uncertain. However, one thing is clear: Trump's efforts to reshape the federal government are already having a significant impact. This is particularly true for federal workers, many of whom are facing an uncertain future. The long-term consequences for the nation, in areas ranging from environmental protection to consumer safety, remain to be seen. The federal worker buyout program, dubbed the Fork Directive by some, has created a stir in Washington and beyond. The program's central feature is an offer too tempting for many to refuse: full pay and benefits until September 2025 in exchange for a deferred resignation. This, the administration argues, is a win-win situation. It allows the government to trim its workforce while providing employees with a generous safety net. However, critics view this golden handshake as a wolf in sheep's clothing. Legal challenges to the program are mounting. 3 federal employee unions, backed by 20 Democratic attorneys general, have filed suit. They argue that the buyout program violates federal law, particularly the Administrative Procedure Act and the Anti-Deficiency Act. Their central argument: the administration overstepped its authority by implementing such a sweeping program without congressional approval. The legal battle is heating up, with Judge George O'Toole Jr. of Boston presiding over a key case. Adding fuel to the fire is the program's requirement for employees to waive legal claims against their agencies. This has raised concerns among employee rights groups, who view it as a coercive measure to silence potential whistleblowers. The administration, however, remains steadfast in its defense. Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary, recently stated that the program is essential for modernizing the federal government, and delays would needlessly disrupt vital services. As the legal battle rages on, federal employees are caught in the middle. Many are grappling with the difficult choice between accepting the buyout and risking potential future layoffs or furloughs. The uncertainty is taking a toll, with many expressing anxieties about their financial future, healthcare, and retirement plans. The Fork Directive, it seems, has left many at a crossroads, unsure of which path to take. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, CFPB, created in the wake of the 2008 financial crisis, has long been a target of Republican ire. Seen as an example of government overreach by its detractors, the agency's very existence is now in jeopardy. The Trump administration's plan to close the CFPB's Washington, D.C. headquarters is a clear signal of its intent to significantly curtail, if not eliminate, the agency's role in regulating the financial industry. Proponents of the closure argue that the CFPB stifles lending and innovation, placing an undue burden on businesses. They believe that existing regulatory bodies, such as the Federal Trade Commission, are sufficient to protect consumers. Opponents, however, view the CFPB as a crucial watchdog, safeguarding consumers from predatory lending practices and ensuring fairness in the financial marketplace. They fear that the agency's demise will leave consumers vulnerable to the very abuses that led to the 2008 crisis. The closure of the CFPB headquarters is a symbolic blow to the agency's mission. It is part of a broader trend of deregulation pursued by the Trump administration, which critics argue prioritizes corporate interests over those of everyday Americans. The potential consequences of a weakened CFPB are far-reaching, potentially impacting everything from mortgage lending to payday loans. The uncertainty surrounding the CFPB's future has left consumer advocates deeply concerned. They argue that a rollback of regulations will disproportionately harm low-income communities and communities of color, who are often the target of predatory lending practices. The battle over the CFPB's fate is far from over, and its outcome will have significant implications for the financial well-being of millions of Americans. The confluence of the federal worker buyout program and the potential closure of the CFPB represents a pivotal moment for the public sector in America. Trump's vision of a smaller, less intrusive government is becoming a reality, leaving many to ponder the long-term consequences. Will this lead to a more efficient and responsive government, as supporters claim? Or will it erode vital services and protections, leaving citizens vulnerable to corporate excesses and environmental degradation as opponents fear? The answer, like most things in politics, is complex and likely to be debated for years to come. The legal challenges to the buyout program will continue to wind their way through the courts, potentially reaching the Supreme Court. Meanwhile, the fate of the CFPB hangs in the balance, with its future role and scope uncertain. One thing is certain: these actions are having a profound impact on the morale and composition of the federal workforce. The uncertainty and anxiety felt by many federal employees is palpable. The long-term consequences of these changes on the government's ability to attract and retain talent remain to be seen. The coming months and years will be crucial in determining the trajectory of the public sector. Will this be a period of renewal and efficiency, or one of decline and diminished capacity? The answer, ultimately, lies in the hands of the American people and their elected representatives.